Okay.
Good evening, Bante.
Okay. Good evening.
Bante, is everything ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So.
Brother Tom, sorry. 还要等到7点吗？因为还没有7点。
Oh, okay. Bante, we still need to wait for another 3 minutes till 11.
Okay. Okay, we can wait.
Thank you, Bante. Bante, shall we start now?
Okay. Yeah, we can.
Okay. Pandami Bante, Sale, and all Dhamma friends, welcome to the lesson 53 on Compendium of Conditionality. I am Brother Tham. I'm the meeting co-host who will be helping Bante and everyone in today's session. Bante, we are done with the introduction. May we invite Bante to start the teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Let's start our today's ABHIDHAMMA study. Reciting Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, we have finished the 52 lessons and 7 chapters of Abhidhamma Sangaha. We study based upon the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma. Today, we are going to study the chapter 8. Which is called the Compendium of Abhidhamma. Compendium of Abhidhamma. Okay, please let me share the screen. So here in this lesson, the Compendium of Abhidhamma, say a compendium of conditionality. This is called the Paticcasamupadda. So this is 8th chapter of Abhidhamma Sangaha, and this will mention about the conditional relationship between the cause and effect in two ways, in two methods. So the first method is Paticcasamupadda Neya. So the Paticcasamupadda Neya, the teaching of Paticcasamupadda is already well known. Buddhism make different itself from the other religion based upon this teaching of Paticcasamupadda, dependent arising or dependent origination. And the second method is Patthana Neya. So the method of conditional relation. So in the Paticcasamupadda, in chapter 8, Abhidhamma Sangaha mentioned the conditional relationship in these two methods, and also in conclusion, it gives the explanation, a short explanation about the Paññādhikara concept. So first of all, we will study about the two methods. Today, for the past lesson, I'm going to introduce two methods and also mostly emphasize in the Paticcasamupadda Neya. Here in the first method of dependent arising, it mentions the simple happening of a state. A state refers to the considers as the conditional state. So conditional state arise depending on some other state. Those are called the Paññādhikara. Okay, so in the Patthana, not only these two, Patthana explain about the specific causal efficacy of the condition. So let's see the difference. So in the first method of dependent arising, it is mentioned the Paññādhikara, conditionally arising state. On the other hand, we can say the conditional states. And also mention about the conditioning states, their condition. So the conditionally arising states and conditioning state. Paññādhikara and Paññādhikara are mentioned in the Paticcasamupadda Neya. In the Patthana Neya, not only these two, Paññādhikara and Paññādhikara, and the extra information is about the conditioning forces, Paticcasamupadda. So this is the difference between two methods, although they are explaining the causal relationship between the conditional state and conditioning states, Paccaya and Paccayupanadhamma. So Patthana explains the different forces, which is called the Paccaya Sati. So when we study Patthana, we will learn the 24 Paccaya too. Okay. So here, Paccayoppanna or it is called the Sankhata Dhamma in the Abhidhamma Sangha. It is mentioned the Paccayoppanna conditionally arising states are referred to the Sankhata Dhamma, conditional states. So these conditional states are arising dependence on the conditions, their specific conditions. If we refer according to the realities for the conditional states, they are citta, cittasika, and material phenomena. So the characteristic material phenomena are exception because in Abhidhamma Sangha it is mentioned that nakutochi samutthana rupa. This materiality of characteristic upacaya santati jarata aniccata, and you can see in the chapter 6. So they are arising, not dependent on the other specific conditions, because they are just only the characteristic of the materialities, not the specific other materialities. That's why these four materialities are exception. Other citta, cittasika, and the other material phenomena are considered as the conditional states. On the other hand, we call the Paccayoppanna Dhamma. So for the second one, Paccaya Dhamma, conditioning states. Conditioning state or conditions, we can say. The condition, on the side of condition, the condition mean these are officials to give rise the conditional states, Paccayoppanna Dhamma, for arising and also for persistence. And they can cause the conditional state. They can cause the conditional state, Paccayoppanna Dhamma, to arise if they are not or they have not yet arisen. And if they already arisen, they maintain. These are called condition. So the condition give arise and maintain the conditional states. On the other hand, Paccaya Dhamma give rise and maintain the Paccayoppanna Dhamma. So if we refer according to the reality, all the conditional phenomena, so it means the citta, cittasika, and material phenomena except the characteristic. Additionally, Nibbana and concept are also come into account of conditioning states. So Nibbana can be conditioned in this case. So we cannot find the condition of Nibbana. Nibbana is the existing in the nature of reality without any condition. But Nibbana can be conditioned. For example, Nibbana can be the object of Magga and Phala Citta. That's why Nibbana is conditioning state to give rise to the Magga and Phala Citta. Without the support of Nibbana as the object, Magga and Phala consciousness cannot arise. That's why Nibbana can be counted in the conditioning state. And also concept. So this is the difference between two groups of states, two groups of conditional state and conditioning states. Then the conditional force are 24. We will study detail when we focus on the second method of Patthana. So these are the link that operate the conditioning between the conditioning state and conditional state. So that force is called the Paccaya-sati. Only in the Patthana it is mentioned. In the Paticcasamupadda that force are not mentioned. This is the first difference. And we will see the more difference between the two methods. Then Paticcasamupadda. Let's see the meaning of Paticcasamupadda. So Paticca and Samupadda. Paticca dependent on Samupadda, arising of origination. So Paticcasamupadda dependent on arising or dependent origination. Then here the method of Paticcasamupadda come with the 12-term formula. So there 12 parts will be explained. So this formula usually found in the Sutta teaching. So although this is mentioned in the Abhidhamma Sangaha, this Avijja Paccaya Sankhara, etc. Can be found in the base of the Sutta teaching. The base of the Sutta teaching is Imasmain Sati Idam Hoti, Imasupada Idam Upachati. This is the past part of the verses. So if we continue, Imasame Asati Idam Nahoti, Imasa Niroda Ira Niruchati. So when something means condition. Condition is it that come to be, the conditional state come to arise, come to appear. So the arising of condition, due to the arising of condition, the arising of conditional state becomes. So this is a short expression in the sutta, but this becomes the basis formula of the Paticcasamupadda. Then here in this case, in the dependent origination, the method of dependent arising emphasized as the simple state. As a simple state, happening of simple state means the conditional state depends on some other conditional state, some other condition. So in the Paticcasamupadda, it mentioned only one state based upon another one state. So the ignorance, when the ignorant exists there, it give rise the sankhara, the karmic formation to arise. So due to the ignorance, karmic formation arise. In this way, based upon the 12-term formula, dependent arising method explain the connection of cause and effect, or condition and conditional state, pointing out a single condition and a single conditional state. But in the Patthana, which is the last book of the Abhidhamma Pitaka, and it not only explaining a single condition and also a single conditional state, Paccaya-dhamma and Paccaya-uppanna-dhamma, not mentioned as a single. It mentioned in the group, is widely mentioned. And also, it mentioned the Paccaya-sati. So, for the Paccaya-sati, that is the power to accomplish the effect or the conditional state, Paccaya-uppanna-dhamma. So there, the Paccaya-sati exists in the Paccaya. The example is given that the hotness of chili is it in the chilies? So without the chili, the hotness cannot be. So in this way, the conditioners forces. Conditioners forces, is it in the condition to give rise the conditioner state? So this is mentioned in the Patthana Neya. Sorry. So the particular forces, Hetu Pachaya, Aramana Pachaya, etc., they give rise as a cause to arise the conditional state, Paccayoppanna Dhamma. So between the Paccaya Dhamma and Paccayoppanna Dhamma, there in the Paccaya Dhamma, the pose of the power to give rise the Paccayoppanna Dhamma that is called the Paccaya Sati. These are the relationship between these two groups. And okay, so here in 12-term formula, starting from the avijja, so avijja, ignorance, and it gives rise the karmic formation, which is called sankhara. And in this way, it continues 12 term, so 12 aspects after the finish. So here, avijja to sankhara, sankhara to vijnana. So sankhara, karmic formation, gives rise the consciousness, which is called vijnana. We will study in detail to enumerate the ultimate reality of each one. So what is mean avijja or what is mean sankhara, we will explain in the next lesson. So in this case, as an introduction to two methods, and also the introduction to the theory of the Paticcasamupadda, roughly, we were trying to connect the meaning of their connection, the meaning and their connection. So ignorance gives rise to the karmic formation. Karmic formation gives rise to the consciousness, which is called vijnana. Vijnana gives rise to the mind and matter, nama rupa. And nama rupa gives rise to the 6 things basis, which is called salayatana. Salayatana, cha ayatana. So cha, 6 ayatana basis. And salayatana gives rise context, which is called phassa. Due to the phassa, the vedana arises. Vedana is feeling. Due to the vedana, tanha arises. And due to tanha, upadana, clinging, arises. And it gives rise the existence, which is called bhava. And bhava gives rise the jati, which is translated as birth. After that, it continues the jara marana soka prideva dukkha domanassa upayasa. So jara is decay, marana death, soka sorrow, prideva lamentation, dukkha. So here dukkha is divided into 2 parts: physical dukkha, pain, and domanassa, mental dukkha, is called the grief, or here upayasa, despair. So we will analyze them. What are the difference between these, different among these terms later. Here we found the 11 link, but here the first sentence explains the 2 patterns of avijja and sankhara. That's why altogether 12 terms. So this gives rise the mass of suffering. So the mass of suffering, if we conclude the whole process starting from avijja to the despair or upayasa, all are included under the name of suffering. That is why the conclusion sentence comes. This whole mass of suffering. Okay, so here the method of dependent arising, Paticcasamupadda, mentioned about the causal structure of round or existence, which is called vata. So round or existence. Then if the condition exists, that condition sustain the wheel of rebirth and death, although it is mentioned as the rebirth and death, it includes the whole process starting from avijja. So it sustains the whole mass of suffering and also make it to start another existence. Another existence. So we will see how they are connected, the cause and effect in the method of Paticcasamupadda. Here the commentary explains that the Paccaya Samagin Paticca Samam Phalana Upado. So arising of the condition. So arising of the condition Paccaya Samagin, that give rise the arising of the phala. Phala is effect. So the arising of effect depends on the arising of condition. As long as condition exists, the phala will come to be. So in this way, if one wishes to cut off the round of rebirth, he has to consider where we can cut, where we can stop. Although it mentioned, as I mentioned in previous slides, the Paticcasamupadda focus on the single cause and single effect. As an example of avijja and sankhara. Avijja give rise the arising of sankhara. Although it is mentioned as a single cause and single effect, but actually the effect also not a single one. In the same way, their cause also not a single one. So how it is mentioned in the dependent arising method, so the arising of the condition come in correlation. So the correlation of condition produce the correlation of effect actually. But the chief condition and the most important effect are pointed out in the Paticcasamupadda. That is why it comes there, a 12 time in their connection of as a single cause and single effect in the Paticcasamupadda. Is like a brief explanation of the Patthana. So easy to understand. That's why it's mentioned in the Sutta. But in the complete explanation of the cause and effect relationship explained in the ABHIDHAMMA. So it is very wide and very broad to explain. So Sutta mentioned in easy way of understanding. But ABHIDHAMMA covers every aspect of the teaching realities. This is the difference between two methods. So we can understand the first difference is the Paticcasamupadda just mentioned Paccayupanna and Paccaya. Not mentioned about the Paccaya Sati. In the Patthana, not left behind the Paccaya Sati, it mentioned all three Paccayadhamma, Paccayupanna and Paccaya Sati. And also, in the method of Paticcasamupadda, a single cause and single effect are pointed out. Although they are arising in the collection or in the group, in both sides of condition and effects. Selecting of the chief condition and the most important effect. This is the way of Paticcasamupadda. And in the Patthana, it will explain the complete set of the condition group and effect groups. And also the force will be mentioned. So, okay, for more information, we need to study the other 7 other aspects of their dependent arising. So here, 3 period. We will study 3 period. It's called the Teyo Atta, 12 factors, Dwara Sangani. So 12 factors already know. And also 20 moods, Visatakara, and 3 connection, Tisandi, and 4 groups, Chatusankhepa, and 3 rounds, Tini Watani, Wata, round of rebirth, and Dwe Mulani, 2 roots, the roots of round of rebirth, the root of samsara on the other hand. So these 7 groups will be explained in the Paticcasamupadda. So before going to analyze the specific factors, and I would like to explain these 7 groups. So let's start from the second group, the 12 factors. So avijja, sankhara, avijja, ignorance, sankhara, karmic formations. They are considered as the past factors. So when we already arise in this, already born in this life, the cause of this life must be in the past. So ignorance and karmic formation already in the past. So they are considered as the past factor. And they starting from the Vijnana, consciousness, Nama Rupa, Salayatana, Phassa, Vedana, Tanna, Upadana, and Bhava. So these 8 factors are considered as the present factors. Because Vijnana, consciousness, reference to the moment consciousness arises at the moment of Patisandi and up to the Bhava. So these all factors are considered as the present life. And if we consider about the Jati and Jaramarana, so these are considered as the future factors. Although this in this life also have their Jati and Jaramarana this life. But if we divide it into, according to the time period, they are classified into 3 groups in this way. So 2 factors for the past, 8 factors for the present, and 2 factors of the future. Here, and with the Jati Marana, Jara Marana, to count 12 factors. So what about the Soka, Prideva, etc.? So the answer is that the Soka, Prideva, etc., they are just the identical consequence, not counted in the specific factors. So sometimes have and sometimes does not have Soka, etc. But still they are considered as the part of the suffering, as a part of the life itself. So in this way, 12 factors and 3 periods. Okay, so here 3 periods: ignorance and karmic formation, avijja and sankhara, and starting and the birth and decay, death. So Jati, Jara, Marana. They are, Jara, Marana are collectively counted. So they are future and the 8 factor present. Okay, so let's continue how they are connected in the group. Here, Abhidhamma Sangha mentioned that if we counted the ignorance and karmic formation, so they are the craving and clinging and existence. So Tanna, Upadana, and Bhava are also counted because they are closely connected. So ignorance karmic formation, craving, clinging, and existence. Here, ignorance and craving, clinging are same in the as a nature of akusala or defilements, and the karmic formation closely connected to the existence, bhava. Then also in the 8 fetters of present, although we say the 8 fetters only, but there the craving, clinging, and existence consist in the 8 fetters. As they are counted, the other 2 fetters of ignorance and karmic formation are also counted. Then, if we count it for the future fetters of the birth, decays, and death, so they are not separate from the birth, and decays are not separate from the consciousness, etc. So the consciousness, the mind movement of the rebirth, when it is arise, it is called the birth. That's why they are not separate entirety from the consciousness, etc. That is why consciousness, vinyana, nama, rupa, mind and matter, salayana, 6 senses, phassa, contact, and vedana, feeling are also counted. So this is the information given by the Abhidhamma Sangha in relation to the fetters. When we count the fetters, although they mention according to the time period in this way, into 3 groups, and the counting will come here. So the past cause, the first past cause, avijja sankhara, as it is mentioned in former slide, taking avijja and sankhara, tanna, upadana, and here bhava. So bhava is called kamma bhava. And because the sankhara and kamma bhava are same, that is why they are included in the same group. So they become the past causes. Although 2 fetters of avijja and sankhara are pointed out as the past cause. But actually, not only these 2, avijja, sankhara, tanna, upadana, kamma bhava, these are 5 past causes. These past causes produce the present effect of vijnana. This is the consciousness of rebirth. Vijnana and nama rupa at the moment of patisandhi, there arise the mental fetters and material groups, and also salayana, phassa, vedana. They are present effect. Based upon the existence of present effect, the present cause arise. They are 5 causes, same as the past causes. So when the past is present, also consider as past after finishing time period is called the past. But at the moment, precise moment, it was present. It was considered as present. And also, this present cause will be past when it is already finished, when it comes to the future. So if we stand on the place of the future, and if we look back, this group become the past cause. So in this way, standing on the present effect, the present cause arise in the life. Then, due to the present causes, the power of present cause, the future effect cannot be avoided. In this way, the fetters are arising in the process of cause and effect. So past cause conditioned to the present effect. The present effect can be conditioned to the present causes. Then present cause produce the future effect. When the future become present, this become past. And also, this become present effect also like this round will come again, and endless process will continue according to the Paticcasamupadda Neya. So in this way, we can see the three periods, past, present, and future, and also their connection. So it's called the three connection. So past cause to present effect to present cause to future effect. In this way, these are called the three connection. And in the group, so here four group, the past group and present two group and future one group become two group. So how this become? The Jati, Jara, Marana referring to the five group of Vijnana, etc. So if we count it in three periods, the future is already mentioned Jati, Jara, Marana, but actually Jati, Jara, Marana cannot arise without the reality of Vijnana, Nama, Rupa, etc. So if you just read the text, it will be a little bit complicated. But if we study in this way, it becomes clear and understandable. So here, the past cause and present cause, one connection, and present result and past present cause and future result. Also, if we start again here, the round, future effect to the future cause, etc. It will continue as a round. Okay, here in the text it mentioned Aditi, Hidawa, Pancha, etc. This is already mentioned in the Chatusankhepa. So four groups are mentioned. And these are the information in the Paticcasamupadda. So the last two groups, round of rebirth, which is called Vata. The first Vata is called the Kilesa Vata. So among the 12 factors, Kilesa Vata is ignorance, craving, and clinging. They are identified as the unwholesome mental factors included under the name of Kilesa. That's why they are called Kilesa Vata. Belong to the round of defilements. Then here, before we continue to the another two types of Vata, we have to know Bhava. That's not one, Vipaka Vata. So the Upapati Bhava is the result of Kamma Bhava or Sankhara. That is why the rebirth existence, which is called Upapati Bhava, and the other remaining factors are considered as the Vipaka Vata. So Vijnana, Nama, Rupa, etc. are Vipaka Vata resulted in there. If you see that we can find the in the resultant group of the future resultant or present resultant in the former slide. So in this way, three rounds, three Vata are mentioned: Kilesa Vata, Kamma Vata, and Vipaka Vata. And also you have to study which factors are included in which Vata. So Kilesa Vata, Kamma Vata, Vipaka Vata. So after that, we will explain about the connection of three rounds. So here in the slide, easy to understand, Kilesa Vata include the Avijja, Tanha, Upadana. So for the Kamma Vata, Sankhara, and one part of the Bhava, which is called Kamma Bhava. But the others, including the upapatti bhava, they are called the vipaka vata. So in this way, you can classify the 12 fetters into 3 vata. And two roots of the vatas are ignorance, avijja, and craving, tanha. Okay, so ignorance, it extends to the fetters of feeling. So it is past fetters. So avijja sankhara, past fetter. Ignorance is past fetter. It producing its result sankhara and continue up to the fetters of feeling as a root. So root extend to the tree body and up to the leaf. The spreading, it is the water to give rise. So for the craving, so after feeling, vedana paccaya tanha, then the craving continue the process. So in this way, the ignorance and craving are considered as the root of the round of rebirth, round of samsara. So starting from the past is ignorance that it is work up to the power of the root of ignorance arise to their feeling, up to the feeling. After that, craving take care for as a present roots. So past root, present roots. Extending to the future. So past to present, present to future, and after the decay and death. So all the resultants are included here. So vijja to here, feeling vedana, and tanha to jara-marana. This is the extension from the roots to the results. Okay, so let's see the connection of 3 rounds of samsara vata. So as I mentioned, the kilesa vata, which is called round of defilement. For the samsara process, round of rebirth, the important vata are the round of defilements. Round of defilements, so ignorance, craving, and clinging, upadana. So here, the ignorance and craving, ignorance make blind. So as the avijja, so it can see the truth. Not seeing the truth, become blinded. And craving, a driving to attach. So under the influence of these 2 factors, the person engaged and to perform the different way of unwholesome and mundane wholesome activity. So lokiya kusala, akusala and lokiya kusala. So the volition with these unwholesome and lokiya kusala altogether 29 are considered as a karma. So these are called the round of karma. Unwholesome and mundane wholesome activity are called round of karma. The round of karma arise based upon the ignorance and craving. Those are called round of defilements. So a round of defilement give rise the round of karma. Then when the round of karma arise and mature and ripen, it produces the result. So that result are called the past petal. You already see the included under the round of result, round of vipaka vata, round of result. They are produced by the round of karma or the unwholesome and mundane wholesome activities. So in this way, round of defilement, kilesa vata, give rise the karma vata, round of karma. And Kamma vada produce the round of resultants, vipaka vada. So it is not stopped at the stage of vipaka vada. So stay in the life, vipaka vada referring to the life. So stay in the life again. Due to their condition, the ignorance and craving arise in the present. That's why although the fetters are divided according to the time periods, past fetter, present fetter, and future fetter, but actually they are not arising only in their specific time period. The past fetter of ignorance and craving arise in the present too. In the present too. So when they arise in the present, they can be the cause for the future resultants. In this way, ignorance and craving arise in the present life. They will produce future resultants. And also they will give rise to karma in this life. So karma group also arise in the present life. And the resultant group also present life, arise in the present life because the condition, the cause are already done in the past. So here, arising, when it arises, the ignorance and craving and also clinging, upadana, and it leads to the another round of, it leads to be in the form of another round of defilements to cause the karma, the round of karma in the present life. So the round is running because it is running around. That's why it is called the vada, a round of defilement, a round of karma, a round of resultants. Not stop there in the resultant. So in this way, so 3 full rounds of kilesa vada, karma vada, and vipaka vada, they continue, giving rise another round. So until the ignorance is removed by the mega knowledge, supramundane path. So only when the ignorance is removed by the supramundane path, the round stop. So when the person attains the Arhata Magga, the ignorance totally removed. At that time, no more producing, no more production of the life. So this is the way how we can stop the round of the 3 rounds of samsara. As long as we cannot remove the ignorance, so this will continue. So here, according to the explanation of the Paticcasamupadda, avijja is the cause. Okay, but let's see. So how it becomes the succession of round, succession of vada, or the circulation of the vada. So by the destruction of 2 roots, avijja and tanha, the vada stop, 6. So if a person can eradicate the ignorant and craving, the round stop. So if as long as they are not removed, with the arising of taints, okay, here the taint is asava. So with the arising of asava, in the person who are constantly oppressed by the impression of their decay and death. So everybody having the life, being born in the life, so by the time they encounter the decay and death. At the moment, decay and death, the taints arise, asava arise. And also during the life, asava arise. When the asava arise, the ignorance also arise. So in the Paticcasamupadda process, it seems avijja is the beginning point. So there is no cause of avijja mentioned in the Paticcasamupadda here, but in the sutta, the asava are mentioned as the cause or as a condition of ignorance, avijja. And so, in this way, ignorance arises. Then when ignorance arises, we cannot stop. It will continue. The round of rebirth will continue. So, the Buddha mentioned in this way that dependent arising arise. So let's search for the condition of their ignorance. So the Buddha say in the Majjhima Nikaya Samadhi Sutta, asava samudaya avijja samudaya. So asava samudaya avijja samudaya. Due to the arising of the asava, the ignorance arises. Because in the asava, if you closely think about that, the asava, kama sawa, bhava sawa, ditta sawa, avijja sawa. So there, ignorance itself is one of the asava. So when the asava arises there, the former asava can become the cause of the later avijja, ignorance. So here, the round comes asava samudaya, avijja samudaya. So avijja samudaya, asava samudaya. Due to the ignorance, so ignorance is making the connection itself, the former one and later one. So you may think about that. What about the first asava? So for the past asava, the Buddha did not mention about that because it is countless, or they are unknown sources. So unknown sources, if you think about the past asava, it cannot be found. But we can find the system how the asava and avijja start to give rise. So in the nature it comes asava and avijja strongly connected, and also avijja is one part of the asava, and also it can produce the other asava. So in this way, the cause as a cause avijja produce asava, and also as an effect avijja is produced by the asava. Then here, the formula is mentioned that the ignorance, any given existence arise, and also it is from the ignorance of preceding existence, so former existence. So that's why the Buddha said the beginningless. So if you think about the beginning of the avijja, so the Buddha already pointed out the beginningless of the ignorance. So still we can find the end. We can find the end. At the moment of Arahata Magga, ignorance stops. If you consider, or if you ask the question about the beginning point of asava, I also have no question because the Buddha didn't mention. So this is the continuum of the infinite regression. So past to present, present to future, it will continuously running around. Okay, so let's stop here about the Paticcasamupadda Neya, and let me introduce a little bit about the Patthana Neya. Here, Patthana Neya mentioned the 24 conditional relations, or 24 forces. So hetu paccaya, aramana paccaya, this is already well known. So translated as the hetu paccaya, root condition, aramana paccaya, object condition. So sometimes we consider the condition as a cause and effect directly. But actually, the word condition is larger than that usage of cause and effect. So the object, being an object, it is also a condition to give rise or to maintain. And adhipati paccaya, predominance condition, and Anantara Paccaya and Samanantara Paccaya, mostly almost the same, and proximity and contiguity conditions. Sahajata, connaissance condition, and Anyamanya, mutuality. They are also very close. And Nisaya, support condition, and decisive support condition, Upanisaya. So Nisaya and Upanisaya, then Purijata, Pachajata, pre-nascent and post-nascent. So arising formally and arising later. And asivana, repetition. So asivana, at the moment of asivana, we can find only in the javana moment, because javana arises repeatedly. So this is called the repetition or condition. Then kamma paccaya and vipaka paccaya. Kamma is not translated kamma only. So result, vipaka, result produced by kamma. Then ahara, nutriment. And we already studied there are 4 nutriment in the chapter 7. The indriya, faculties, also study in chapter 7. And jhana paccaya and mekka paccaya. And jhana, path. And sampayutta, association, vipayutta, dissociation. Atti paccaya, natti paccaya, vikata paccaya, avikata paccaya, very similar nature. So they are almost the same. Atti and avikata. When it is present, it is not disappearance. And when it is absent, it is disappearance. So in this way, they are connected. And in detailed explanation, will be explained in the next lessons of when we study about the Patthana. So here, according to the 24 conditional relation, the mental phenomena and material phenomena are arising in connection of the interrelationship. They arise, the mentality arise based upon the materiality, and materiality arise based upon the mentality in this way. Okay, here, so let's repeat to make sure about the conditional relation here, Paññādhikara. So the Paññādhikara, the conditional state, or we call the, in short way, we call the condition. They are able to produce their conditioning states, and also they can support, they can maintain their conditional states. Paññādhikara. So here, Paññādhikara are produced by the Paññādhikara. Then the Paccaya-sati. So this is a particular way we can find any of the 24 forces in specific condition of the connection of 2 groups, the Paccaya-dhamma and Paccaya-dhamma. So in this way, the chapter 8 mentioned the 2 methods to make sure the life and the beings are not created by any other, the powerful beings, something God or the other beings. They arise due to their specific condition. So after studying the Paccaya Sangaha, our view become more straight. So, okay. Let me stop here, my explanation, and let's continue to the Q&A session.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhante. So with Bhante permission, we proceed to the Q&A session.
Okay.
Dear participant, if you have any question, you can either send your question in the chat box or just raise your hand and ask the question live. So the first question for Bante is, in Myanmar, many Buddhists like to chant the Patthana daily. Could Sayadaw explain what is the significance of chanting Patthana daily?
Yeah, as I understand, the concept come from their explanation how the Buddha Sasana disappear. So when the Buddha Sasana disappear, it is said the ABHIDHAMMA will disappear first. And in the ABHIDHAMMA also, the Patthana will be disappear first. So the people are not wishing to disappear, the Buddha Sasana to disappear. That's why they chant Patthana and every day, although they don't understand, most of them. Actually, as I understand, if we really wish to maintain the Buddha Sasana, we have to learn the teaching. And if we afraid Patthana from disappearance, we have to learn Patthana. It is not enough just chanting. It is not enough just writing in the book. If we don't understand, it can disappear. So, and the text, nobody understand. The chanting, nobody understand. It's not called really existing as a teaching. So, the Buddha's teaching is not only for keeping us a secret one, is to understand and to follow. That's why we have to make correction people's idea. So another concept is Patthana is very difficult, and also the many Deva like to listen the difficult text of Patthana. That's why they want to make friendship with the Deva, so they recite Patthana. But actually, better to understand.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we move on to the second question. Dear Bante, we understand that after a meditator practice Paticcasamupadda, one may become a Chula Sotapanna. How deep must a meditator practice in order to be a Chula Sotapanna? And what is the nature of a Chula Sotapanna?
This is come from the commentary, and this commentary developed the idea. Sotapanna, actually Sotapanna is Sotapanna. The Chula Sotapanna means the person very close to become Sotapanna. Very close. If we see a very close condition, means the Anuloma Jnana. So one who can keep the Sankharupika Jnana, and which is the highest level of the Vipassana Jnana, understanding, completely understanding about the nature of conditional relationship, about the nature of mental and material phenomena. So already purifies one's own view, but not the wrong view is not eradicated by the knowledge of Magga. So that's why he is not called Sotapanna, but still considered as the little Sotapanna. Chula is little one. So not the real one, but you can say the little one. How deep means that he understands clearly, very clear in his mind, his understanding about the nature of mind and matter with their condition. So his view is very straight, but still the nature of wrong view in their underlying level. Is it because it is not eradicated by the Magga? So it is called the Chula Sotapanna in the literature. So the commentary mentioned that because the view is clear in that state, in that level. That is why he is going to attain the Sotapanna jnana soon. So although he is not attained this life, he will not be reborn in the hopeful state. He will reborn in the blissful state, and if he continue, he is ready to attain the Sotapanna level. So this is the nature of Chula Sotapanna.
Thank you, Bhante. Third question. In the daily chanting book, the first part of chant is always Aneka Jati Samsaram, then followed by the Paticcasamupadda, dependent origination. Could Bhante please explain when did the Buddha utter these verses and give the Paticcasamupadda teaching?
Yeah, this is the sequence of the Dhamma the Buddha reflected under the Bodhi tree. So when he has attained the enlightenment, and he recite the rejoicing utterance, which is called Udana. So Aneka Jati Samsara is Udana. Because he attained the enlightenment finally, so at the end of the 4 incalculable period of kappa and 100,000 of kappa, and he attained Aneka Jati Samsara. So he was running around to searching for this enlightenment. Now finally he has attained. So he rejoicing and cannot keep inside the utterance. So recited the chanting of Aneka Jati Samsara. After that, he started to consider about the nature of reality, starting from the Paticcasamupadda. So that's why these are the sequence.
Thank you, Bhante. Fourth question, dear Bhante, are Paticcasamupadda and Patthana the core teachings of the Buddha? Does a meditator need to practically practice the Paticcasamupadda and Patthana in order to attain enlightenment?
Yeah, we can say in this way. And core teachings, so we need to add the anatta also, the teaching of non-self. And in the practical world, the Paticcasamupadda and Patthana actually the important text in their practices to see the relationship between cause and effect. Although not saying that I'm practicing Paticcasamupadda or I'm practicing Patthana, or if the meditators see cause and effect relationship, maybe in not learning about the teaching in this way, some meditator may not know even the name, this is Paticcasamupadda or this is Patthana, but through his practice under the guidance of proper teacher, the meditator can understand the cause group and effect group, and also the relationship between them, and understand the cause produces the result. Due to the cause, the result arises. There is no creator or there is no arising without any condition. And clarifying in the view. After that, the knowledge, inside knowledge become mature and attain the enlightenment. So not specifically mention this is Paticcasamupadda or this is Patthana in the real practice. So if the skillful teacher instructs us how to observe the nature of ultimate reality, which is called mentality or materiality, understanding about their nature and relationship, it is enough to continue to up to the attainment of enlightenment.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So the next question, dear Bhante, We often see this Paticcasamupadda view in many Buddhist sites. Could Bhante explain about this view according to today's teaching for our general understanding? Where should one cut the view in order to attain liberation from this round of rebirth? And this is the picture of the view.
Okay, this will mention every information. So here in the outer cycle, you see the vata, 3 vata, and so 8 fetter, vipaka vata, and 3 kilesa vata. So 3 kilesa vata, avijja, tanha, upadana, and also kamma vata. So it's the arrow show that due to the kilesa vata, the first one, number 1, the outside of the cycle. Number 1 is, they show the due to the kilesa vata, the kamma vata arise, and then for number 2, the kamma vata continue to the vipaka vata, and also based upon the vipaka vata and the defilements, they are the kilesa vata. In this way, it show the round. So from 4 does not stop there, vipaka vata, it continue to the first one, number 1. So in this way, it is running around. There inside the past causal condition continue on and present like this. So dividing into 5. So 20 become the 20 fetters according to the division. So 4 group consisting of the 5 fetters, past, present, so present to fortune, future, and also future resultant like this. So it's mentioned. Then if we go deeper, then it mentioned the avijja, sankhara, tanha, upadana, bhava. Here, there, the bhava refers to the kamma bhava, like this. So the round is trying to explain about the continuum. So if you want to cut off their avijja, so have to eradicate avijja there. How can I do that? So avijja, the method is, so inside in the deeper level, in the middle point, it mentioned the 2 roots, avijja and sankhara. So also it is added the information about the 4 noble truths. So dukkha satya, so resulting parts are called the dukkha satya. Okay. And the causal parts are called the samudaya satya. And also the other side, on the other side of the dukkha satya, the future also dukkha satya, present also dukkha satya, like this it mentioned. So usually in the past cause, it is called mentioned as a samudaya satya. But samudaya satya also possible in the present. So there, the opposite of the dukkha, then samudaya, after that dukkha, samudaya. So the origin produced there, it is result. Result are considered as a suffering. So dukkha satya. Then with the existence of dukkha satya, also the continue the samudaya satya at the same time. Then it produces another dukkha satya. So in this way, this period, 3 period and 4 connection, and 3 connection and 4 group like this. So if you can classify and you can understand this cycle of this wheel of the dependent origination, not that difficult. But for the explanation, it comes actually if we understand the process, it continues the process. So making the group, sometimes you may confuse. And when it is pointed out there as the 2 karma. Here the avijja and sankhara surrounded by the kilesawata there. They show the main petals. By the power of that, and the other also included like this. So,
yes. Yes, thank you, Bhante. Bhante, regarding the question, where should one cut the wheel in order to attain liberation from this round of rebirth?
Of course, the kilesawata is the place can cut. So kilesawata, so avijja and avijja, tanha and upadana. So this is the place to cut out. Kilesawata.
Okay, sadhu.
Yeah.
Then we continue with question 6. Okay, so dear Bhante, avijja paccaya sankhara means.
Okay, yes.
Yes, avijja paccaya sankhara means avijja or ignorance arise, then sankhara or kappa formation arise. In our daily life, sometimes maybe our sankhara arise before avijja. For example, after we make an offering to the sangha, wholesome karma, then we make aspiration to become a bhikkhu in the future life, avijja. This is sankhara first, then avijja. How do we understand avijja paccaya sankhara in such case?
Actually, the expectation to become a bhikkhu is based upon the avijja itself. Without the avijja, that expectation will not be possible. That's why the avijja already exists inside the nature. Also, we can consider as in the past already. So, based upon the power of avijja, that aspiration to become a bhikkhu arise. Due to the aspiration, the sankhara, karmic formation is done. So that is why avijja, the former avijja already exists. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante. Next question. Dear Bhante, dependent on birth, arise, decay and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair. Could Bhante explain what is the difference between this suffering, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair?
Yeah, I will bring this all information in the next lesson.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. Next question, Bhante. Please explain ignorance arises from the taints, asava. Could Bhante briefly explain what are the different kinds of taints, asava?
Yeah, asava, if you remember, if we already studied in the chapter 7, kamasava, referring to the lobha, greed, and also another name it is called craving. Bhavasava, also it is greed or craving to the existence. Or both of them are indicated to the craving. And ditthasava, it is wrong view. And the last one, avijjasava, it is ignorance. So these three are the four factors, but three ultimate reality have the nature of asava, which is very powerful to express and to spread up to the highest realm of existence. They are called asava. So ignorance itself is there inside, and in combination with the other, the craving, kamasava or bhavasava, it becomes powerful and give rise to the avijja, ignorance, which can continue to the karmic formation, etc. So you have to check again what are the asava in chapter 7, and you will see the avijja itself is asava. So asava in our daily life, sometimes karma asava, sometimes bhava asava, sometimes ditta asava, and sometimes avijja asava. So there avijja itself considered of there, considered in the asava group. It can give rise to the following ignorance. So in this way, ignorance arises due to the asava.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. Next question. Dear Bhante, there's one clarification from participant. Can I understand as follow? A, Paññādhikara equals to cause. Second, Paticcasamupadda Dhamma equals to effect.
Yes, we can see it, but not only directly cause. Sometimes given a rise also considered as a cause, as I mentioned in the Aramana. So just being the object is a cause. So if you see someone and you get angry, so that person does not do anything to you, but that is a cause for your anger. Like this. So being object also can be the cause. So if you can say, if you want to say, Paññādhikara cause and Paticcasamupadda effect, it is right.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Next question. Vandami Sayadaw, in the Patthana, Ati Pachaya and Abhigata Pachaya seems alike, and also Nati and Vigata Pachaya. So why not only 22 Pachaya instead of 24 Pachaya? Thank you, Sayadaw.
Actually, not only these two pairs, as Anantara and Samanantara also, they're identical. That's why the Buddha mentioned 24. The reason is mentioned because some can understand by the usage of Ati, and some can understand by the usage of Avigata. And also, the nature is same, but if we use from the different usage, it has become different. But actually, according to the reality, it is same. So for the complete information, as I understand, the Buddha gave 24 other than 22 or 21. So making the teaching is the Buddha's work. That's why if we ask the question, why he made, also the explanation can come, but sometimes cannot be the right reason. So we understand they are the same, but the one who makes the process of teaching is the Buddha himself. So now we just need to follow the teaching.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next question. Vandami Bhante, could Bhante kindly explain Paticcasamupadda first method until fifth method? What significant practicing through all methods?
I don't understand what is mean the first method to fifth method. Can you clarify the question?
Okay, this question is from Saleh ETC. Saleh, could you please further clarify your question? Saleh? Okay. So, Bhante, if there's no further clarification, we can move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next question, Vandami Sayadaw. Some Sayadaw Dhamma talk mention that the yogi who attain the Udaya Bhajanana would be called a Chula Sotapanna in Myanmar. Is that correct as well? Become Sayadaw, just say the Sankharupekanana.
Yeah, as I understand, Udayabhaya Jnana is not stable. That's why many people can come to that level, also not considered as their Chula Sotapanna or something else. But actually, the Chula Sotapanna itself is developed the idea, the later development. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. So, this seems like the last question. Dear participant, if you have question, you still can send your question in the chat box, or you can also raise a hand to ask the question online. Okay. If there's no more question, sadhu, Bhante. Thank you very much for your teaching today. Oh, I think we have one question come in, Bhante.
Okay, Brother Tam, take your time.
So the question is Paccaya Dhamma and Sankhata Dhamma the same or different? Can Bhante please explain?
Actually, the Paccayupanna Dhamma and Sankhata Dhamma are same. So Paccaya Dhamma have more factors of Nibbana and concept. So Paccaya Dhamma is Sankhata Dhamma plus Nibbana and concept. So Paccayupanna Dhamma are equal to the Sankhata Dhamma. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Okay, Bhante, seems like there's no more question coming in. So thanks, sadhu, Bhante. Thank you very much for your teaching today. May we invite Bhante to lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits.